This idea of being the minority is something I didn't think about much as a naive child. But my parents always made it a point for me to be aware of the color of my skin. I didn't really understand why they put so much emphasis on this, or why this was something I still had to think about. But little did I know, a tragedy would happen in the near future that would shake the Black community. This was the point at which I finally understood my parents' constant conversations about race, and why I had to think about who and what I was each time that I stepped outside of the house. This tragedy was the Trayvon Martin case. This is the point at which I realized and witnessed firsthand that we as a Black community in America haven't gotten very far. I think this tragedy hits the hearts of my family and most Black people so hard because it brings us back to the harsh reality that there is still so much prejudice and racism that lives in our country. Don't get me wrong, we have made great strides in terms of race, but there is such a long way to go. Although my parents talked to me often about race relations in this country, it was during this time that my parents had to talk to me about how I had to behave in public. Because every single situation that I face out in the real world could be life or death. And this is the way my parents embedded in us to look at the world. It may be hard for someone who isn't a person of color to identify with my story or my family, but in the Black community especially, this is everyday life. I feel that my race and ethnicity is a driving force behind me wanting to be successful and break the barriers that are stacked against me. Growing up in the type of household I did with strong, proud parents who have seen firsthand what people's lives turn out to become if they don't make something of themselves laid the foundation for me. I truly believe that the underlying factor of many issues that we face at an incomparably higher rate than any other race is the lack of emphasis on education. It's imperative that everyone, regardless of race, realize that knowledge is power. And the only way to break the sickness of the Black culture in this country is to start with education. It's such a small part of a huge problem.